So, is this really how StreamYard works? It's strictly in the web browser. I'm using a 2011 MacBook, which I bought off Facebook Marketplace for 60 bucks and switched out the hard drive, put a new hard drive in it. And this is pretty interesting. You have the StreamYard, I guess it's a banner up there. New York sports on the rise again. I was able to edit that one in the free version, and then up here you have the powered by StreamYard, and of course down below StreamYard live show. It's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah. Mets advanced to the NLCS. Yankees advanced yesterday to the ALCS. Knicks looked good in preseason. Jets fired their coach and took away the offensive play calling responsibility from Nathaniel Hackett. So, all things said, yeah, I think New York sports is back, and that's of course not forgetting the Rangers and Islanders and the Devils if you want. And yeah, I mean, if you're thinking really that literal, the only real New York football team will be on display at MetLife against the New Jersey Jets, my beloved New Jersey Jets. And of course, yeah, again, can't forget with a huge win out in Seattle last week, Daniel Jones and the Giants of New York. So New York sports is definitely on the rise again. The New York, the local area teams are 2-3, but neither one of them's out of it. And of course, with the Jets, it's a different conversation. They have a chance to beat the Bills again in the first place, but when I say that neither team's out of it, it's just this idea that, previous years, you look up in mid November and the Jets and Giants are borderline irrelevant, if not totally irrelevant. The Mets and Yankees don't always have success at the same time. And here they are now, a series win each away from seeing each other in the World Series. And if you ask me, on the AL side, I don't think anyone's beating the Yankees. And that was solidified. You got rid of Houston, you got rid of the Orioles, and Kansas City gave you a really tough fight, and you overcame and you beat them in four. And I think the Yankees did exactly what they needed to do. They need more offense. But I think guys are coming around. With the Mets, tremendous victory in Game 4 for them. Grand slam from Francisco Lindor, the NL MVP. Francisco Lindor, and he's a bit of a scary player. Of all the players left in the postseason, even more than Otani, the one guy that I don't want beating the Yankees is Francisco Lindor. He's really talented. He's got that really good smile, and he's infectious. And 100%, I believe, if it comes down to two teams in Giancarlo Stanton sweepstakes, God. See, that's what happens when you're so good. He's been so good subconsciously. Giancarlo Stanton is just like he's at the tip of my tongue as I'm ready to talk about him. In the Juan Soto sweepstakes this offseason, if it comes down to two teams, it's going to be the Mets and the Yankees. And I think Giancarlo, he's going to think about his future teammates. He's got all the fun and the pop culture and music videos and songs and fireworks and Mr. Met and the Apple when you hit a home run. I mean, look, man, if I were a baller set out to make, $500 million, it'd be a tough choice, to be honest with you. The tradition and the legacy of the New York Yankees or I guess you could say the up and coming Mets, same market. You get your own share of the city. Maybe you get a bigger share of the city. Think back to Doc Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, and those Mets. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty enticing, especially if the dollars are going to be more in Queens. But yeah, I mean, if the Yankees somehow decide to make it close, doing better than the Mets in this postseason, obviously may be taken into consideration. Winning the World Series for sure. Losing to the Mets in the World Series, you're gonna lose Juan Soto. This is literally potentially could be an unprecedented time in baseball, where you have this superstar free agent on stage in the World Series playing for the team and against the team that he's, probably going to be bid on the highest by. If that even came out right, I'm lucky. You'll have a player who's going into free agency who could become the highest paid player in the game or one of the top two. And because I don't know if he's going to beat Shohei's deal, it's ridiculous. He's going to be one of the highest paid players ever, and he's going to be literally. I mean, the World Series is going to be dependent on winning and losing Juan Soto in addition to a championship. That's insane. Yikes. Anyway, yeah, Giancarlo Stanton is I mean, he's past two games he's hit 75% of the balls that he's seen for extra base hits. I mean, the guy is amazing. Um he's on base percentage is like 1200 in the in the ALDS. And yeah, I mean, I think he's probably got the highest batting average for the Yankees in the ALDS as well. Probably got the highest on base percentage. I mean, he was a stud. In game three, he had, again, the Yankees had four hits. He had three of them. Yankees scored 3 runs. He batted in two of them. Yesterday, again, 2 for 3 with a walk. Um, Made it to second base, I believe, in all three times on base. He made it to second base, which is huge. It was a nice prop bet, by the way. Giancarlo Stanton plus 2 bases. I'm like, the guy just hit a home run and a double the day before. I'm pretty sure the guy's going to get 2 bases. Touch 2 bases. Anyway, yeah. Um, I hope it continues. And to be honest, when the opponents are Detroit or Cleveland, I think it will continue. I think the Yankees will dominate either one of those teams. And when you get to the World Series, if it just so happens to be the Mets, I'm not worried. Neither should the Mets fans, be worried about who their team plays either. And so that's kind of what's interesting about this. The Mets dominated the Yankees in the regular season, but I argued at the time the Yankees were not playing their best ball. Anytime they saw the Mets, they were not doing well. Garrett Cole wasn't Garrett Cole, especially early in the first time we saw the Mets, and we didn't have our lineup the way that we have it today. The Yankees lineup is whole, and I'll be able to live with whatever the result is of that series. You jump into the Knicks real quick. Only saw a couple preseason games. I didn't watch the full game. I don't really get that invested, but from what I did see, the highlights of Jalen Brunson running the two-man game with Cat, how do you not get excited? How do you not get excited? Uh, a lot of people were distraught that we gave up Dante DiVincenzo, obviously Julius Randle. And I just said this. When you talk about how you fit on the court, there's only one basketball. And I just don't think Julius Randle was really 100% a fit guy when it comes to what Jalen Brunson needs for success. Swapping him out for a player like Cat was the answer. This is Jamal Murray and the Joker. This is, Maxey and Embiid. This is, you pick your version of guard, big. This is Mark Jackson, Patrick Ewing. This is, different style, but Nash and Omari or Nash and Dirk. It's a combination of big and guard that is just, they just typically do well throughout the history of the game of basketball. No matter if we're shooting threes, we're running fast breaks, we're doing the half court set, we're a good defensive team or not, this just bodes well typically when you have a guard of Jalen Brunson's caliber and a big with the skill set of a Karl Anthony Towns. You put the two of those together every chance you get. I think Anthony Edwards, believe it or not, uh, over there in Minnesota, when you add a shooter like Dante DiVincenzo and a player of Julius Randle's skill set, and if they still have Gobert, I don't know. I don't follow much T Wolves, but I think that that team also fits better. I don't know if they got better, but it fits better. And if Edwards elevates his level, then they're going to be better. It's his team. On this side with the Knicks, it's Jalen Brunson's team. And so I just think that both teams got the complementary players and player to fit their guy, their star player. Jalen Brunson's window is not the same as Anthony Edwards' window. So getting a player like Karl Anthony Towns, who's a perennial all-star, and also who fits the mold of the modern day big, um, it was a no-brainer. And the Knicks, listen, you surrounded Jalen Brunson with wings all over the place. Uh, OG Anunoby is he's not a regular player. I mean, that guy is he's uber talented. He's a stellar defender, and he's going to fit like a glove with whatever the Knicks have going on offense, whether they feature him in moments, whether he's in the corner, waiting on the ball, whether he's slashing, whatever. Mikal Bridges, I think, ultimately, eventually, same thing. Just talented, and for what the Knicks are going to need those guys to do on a day in, day out basis, they're capable of much more. And you saw that last year with Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, when they had to step up when other guys were injured. I mean, this Knick team is still molded in that same fabric. And you've added more experienced depth on the bench as well. Guys like Campaign, Landry Shamet. You have the rookie also. He's no slouch. I think he's going to jump right into some playing time. Obviously, Deuce McBride goes without saying. Any given night he can drop a nice 25 on you with 5 or 6 threes. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Precious Achua, just a really good fit player, really good team player. Um, you know, just look up and down the Knicks roster. It feels good because it fits. Simple and plain. Obviously, Tom Thibodeau, the team takes on his personality. They're going to go very far. Which brings you to the Jets. The team started to take on the personality of Robert Saleh, and that's just not good. Robert Saleh, I think he'd make an excellent, well, we know he's a great defensive coach already. I think he'd make an excellent GM. I think he'd make an excellent CEO of any company. I mean, I think he'd make a great politician. I don't know if he's a great head football coach for a National Football League team. College team, probably great. Probably great. If I'm Michigan or one of these schools, isn't he from Michigan? Dearborn? I don't know. I'm just saying. That's the kind of guy that I may look at, next time around if he's interested in coaching college football. I really think Robert Saleh would be a hit in college football. Then he'd get to see him on the sidelines with his, how he was as a DC in San Francisco. I don't know. Interesting. But yeah, the Jets started to take on the personality of their coach, which was a little bit just lax. And the guys started to seem, they were talking themselves up. We're the Ravens, we're the 85 Bears. We're great. We know we're great. It bothered me so much in the offseason to hear Quentin Williams specifically say Hassan Reddick is a great guy and a great. It's like, man, everyone started to talk like Robert Saleh. Like, come on, you should have been saying, who is he to us? We're here. He needs to be here. I wouldn't have mind, I wouldn't mind if any other Jets player said that. I wouldn't mind if Salah came out and said it, which I do think Salah was pissed about the Reddick situation all along. And I think that, there were probably some rifts, not just a small rift between Salah and Rodgers. I think they just had more of a misunderstanding at first, it turned into a rift. But I think there was probably a difference in opinion with Salah and the GM. And it probably dates back to when they drafted Zach Wilson. I think Robert Saleh was fine with Sam Darnold. I truly believe that to this day. I don't think Saleh wanted to draft Wilson at all. I think he wanted Penei Sewell and Sam Darnold, another story for another day. Robert Saleh's gone. Thank you for your contributions. All gas, no break. Gonna miss the guy. Nathaniel Hackett gets stripped of his play calling duty, and now we have Todd Downing. Now, Jets go out there on Monday Night Football, and Brett Favre, Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers. Inevitably, in 12 years, Love will be the Jets quarterback as well. Aaron Rodgers will probably go out there and throw for a lot of yards. Garrett Wilson will all of a sudden quiet the Devontae Adams talk for a week, and I don't know. Lazard, since he's on my bench, will probably have hands like glue, catch 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Jets will steamroll the Bills 48-10. And that'll be that. And everyone will just wrap it up and say, wow, Salah was holding this team back. Yeah. Anyhow, I'm using free software. I've been talking for 17 minutes. And I've had all the software, the equipment. Again, my MacBook is 13 years old. This headset is from DollarTree, so if this thing comes out good at all, that'll be pretty awesome. Free software, obviously, I haven't subscribed because that's where all the StreamYard logos are still there. Is what it is. So, the state of New York sports, they're back. I haven't tuned into any hockey yet. More of a playoff hockey fan. Rangers. Although, let me tell you, because there's really no allegiance, if the Islanders happen to be in the Stanley Cup Finals, Islanders. And guess what? Just because I live in the Midwest now, if the Devils happen to get there, I'll be the biggest Devils fan for that month of April. May, whatever, I know they're right around the NBA playoffs, same thing, but yeah. Need some tea. Let's talk about it. Daniel Jones looks good quarterback. What else we want to talk about? Yeah, Pete Alonso, guy hits dingers every now and then. Good enough. Giancarlo Stanton, right now, he's battling Francisco Lindor for MVP of New York baseball this postseason. Pretty cool. Pretty good stuff. Garrett Cole, yeah, best pitcher in baseball when he's right. And I think he's right now. That's all that matters. MDT podcast, where we will discuss many different things. I'm out.